Good evening. I'd like to call this Board of Health meeting to order at 5:30. And just so everyone is aware, this meeting is being recorded. If everyone can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So, first item on the agenda, the variance request for septic at 4 Lewis Way.
Or Lewis Drive.
4 Lewis Drive. Okay, sorry, we had an error here. Okay. And can you state you Lewis Drive, yes?
Yes, that's me, yes.
Can you state your name for us, please?
Luke Curtis?
So we have, they're upgrading from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, the septic system. And due to the lot size, they need to put in, due to the lot size, you have to have so much square footage for number of bedrooms, but because it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot, they can put in a nitrogen removal system. So
Okay.
they're going to
You
be.
say square footage, are you referring to the lot itself?
Yes.
Yes, it's, I believe, my understanding is Title V says it's 1 acre.
Yeah.
But then again, 1 acre to build in general, not just for, 4
Right.
bedrooms nowadays.
Right, but because it's an older lot, we can give the board can give an allowance for them to upgrade from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom, and that they'll install a nitrogen removal system it's in the whole system. So basically what it's going to do is, I don't want to get too, but
Yeah.
do you remember Camille talking about this, that there has to be so much in order to keep the nitrogen, you have to have so much property to
Okay.
keep the nitrogen levels at a certain amount. And remember how she was saying sometimes you have to have unused property elsewhere, but you can also put in a nitrogen removal system. And where this house has been there for,
It was 1992 it was built.
so, and it's a pre-existing lot. It's not like they can purchase any land or anything. And they just want to upgrade from a 3-bedroom, which the original septic system is for, and they're doing an addition to have a 4-bedroom.
Okay. And putting this
And
removal
putting in-
system will
Yep.
make everything compliant.
That's correct.
Okay.
It would be compliant with the output when you're referring to the nitrogen. But the current size of the tank is already well beyond what is required per Title IX. It is compliant for what I understand, is compliant for up to, I think, 5 bedrooms, just by
Is it
sheer
1,500?
by sheer size, yes, just by sheer size, not by output. I'm coming here today requesting that. The other, the things I have going on here, as I, we just welcomed a new baby last month. It was not expected, so now we are a family of 6, and as I'm sure you guys know, real estate is horrible right now.
Yep.
Everything surrounding it, so keeping our interest rate in our home in this town would be, very beneficial to all 6 of us. So that's our desire. I'm not totally sure of all the options for making the septic compliant. I'm open to exploring any other possibilities if the board would allow it. Reason being, I just don't know what the cost is for any of these things without.
This is the best, for your situation, this is the best that can be done.
You mean in a cost-effective sense also?
For Title V, I don't know cost, I apologize.
Right.
But for
My
the
concern
Title
here
V,
is, and I'm not, I'm kind of spitballing, we're talking hypotheticals. If the board allows, we will allow this, but it costs $200,000, it's not really, that's not viable, and I think we all know that.
unfortunately, our hands are tied by Title V regulations. We can only do so much. They allow us to give certain things within what we feel is realistic. Putting in a nitrogen removal system is a great thing. It takes care of any possibility of and I'm gonna try to explain it the best that I can. So when you have a septic system, it causes nitrogen, okay? So you're supposed to have so much land to remediate the nitrogen.
Dissipate.
Okay? Title V says each bedroom, and don't quote me on this, because I'm not the agent, I'm just going off memory here, there's a specific, which is like for the 1 acre, and then additional bedrooms are 10,000 square feet. So in other situations, like if you were building a new house, they'd require you to have more land. You'd have to purchase land. There are some places, they were talking about the business in Webster, where they didn't have enough land, so they actually had to purchase land to make, I know it sounds weird, but that land is nitrogen free. This land is being,
More nitrogen heavy,
and
So
this
it's
land over here is maintaining.
It's a balancing act. It's essentially a math
So
equation.
for you, the best bet is the nitrogen removal system. I have no idea about costs. I apologize. Not even I wouldn't even begin to ballpark. On your septic, your tank's not being replaced?
No, there's no reason to replace it. The
What about
tank
your
was
leach
replaced.
field?
What's that?
What about your leach field?
So from what I read and everything I understand from Title V, my goal was to expand the leach field.
Okay.
That was what I was hoping to do, because I felt that it would satisfy Title V while also being not an extremely disruptive alteration.
Existing leach field with 4-inch mercury.
Can you
Additional
pull the
3
microphone a little closer to you?
Yep, no problem.
Because I'm afraid people at home might not hear you. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, they're adding on to the leach field.
That was a desire. You know, I'm open to other things, as I said to you before. It's just I'm trying to make this. I understand, you know, this isn't going to cost me $20, and I think, you know,
Well, it's good that you
Right.
don't have to replace your tank,
it was replaced in 2016.
so that's good, because you've got the 1,500
I
in
believe it
it.
was October.
You can check the tank, everything's in good. The
Yes.
leach field does have to be expanded in order to, again, the leach field has to be a certain size per number of bedrooms as well. So extending the leach field will bring you up to the four bedroom, and as well as the nitrogen removal system due to the size of the lot. So those are, I'm just reading.
I guess part of my thing here is that I'm having trouble, you know, wrapping my head around. Maybe it's just because of Title V says this is the law and it is what it is. It's just that whether we add a bedroom or not has no bearing on the number of people who live there and the nitrogen. It becomes a bit of a formality.
I understand that completely.
I don't plan to have 30 people living in a small home, but
No, and most people would think that it's the number of bathrooms that should affect Title V, because,
no, I'm well aware.
you know what I mean? But, unfortunately, that's what we're given to go by.
The building code presumes that number of bedrooms it equals, you know,
Right.
it's an equation to number of people.
Right, but, unfortunately, that's what we are required to follow, is the Title V. So, I know, like you said, whether you have 4 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, you're still gonna have the same number of people. But the thing is in your situation, yes, but if you go to resell that house, it can't, if you want it to be a legal 4-bedroom, it could, if you don't have the upgraded septic system, you won't get the building permit for the additional bedroom. It will never be a legal 4-bedroom.
And this is to expand the home to add a bedroom, which by definition has the window capacity and closets. If an addition was built without those standards, would the board be in opposition?
That's up to the building department, because they're telling us that you're adding a bedroom, then you have to be brought up to what's required for a 4-bedroom. Yep. But
So-
the house could never legally be a 4-bedroom.
Right, I understand that.
Just to give you the whole overview of everything.
There's currently a house for sale in the town that has a similar has a situation like that, and I'm aware of it. It's on Camelot Circle.
And it's not to say that illegal bedrooms aren't ever put in and things aren't ever done, but legally, if there's not a building permit and a septic plan to back it up, it legally is not. And like, we've had instances over the years where people have bought a house and said, well, the realtor told me it's a 4-bedroom, there's 4 bedrooms in here. And they come to us and it's a 3-bedroom. There was never a permit pulled for the addition of the 4th bedroom. Septic was never upgraded. Sorry, it's legally, it's a 3-bedroom. It's not, you know, that's where you
And the
run
Board of
into-
Health is involved, and you, correct me if I'm wrong, the Board of Health is involved in this situation because of the septic. If the septic was not a concern or something that we had to, you know, meet standards with, the Board of Health would have no,
The Board of Health.
generally wouldn't be interested.
The Board of Health is always going to have to sign off on a building permit that regardless, that involves private septic, private well. It's just a formality. So if a permit comes into the building department, even if it was a roof, it's going to come to the Board of Health. I know, it's just a formality. If they're doing a deck, it's gonna come to make sure that it's not going over the septic tanks or too close to the well or any of that nature. So yeah, every department, all kinds of work together. If you had public water and public sewer, the water sewer department would sign off to make sure if you were doing a front deck that you're aware of where your water main is and your sewer, you know. So all the departments try to work together so that there's no problems down the line, basically.
Understood.
So this is going to be expanded, the leach
Yep.
field, and which way are we going? Has to stay in his property?
Right, yep, and he's got all the setbacks and everything, because, benchmark, yep, he's all maintained, he's got the 11-foot setback here,
Mm-hmm.
an 11-foot setback here.
Oh, this dotted line shows where
Yep.
the leach field is gonna go?
Yep.
Okay,
So he's got everything, his D-box isn't moving, his tank isn't moving, nothing, just the extension of the leach field. And
okay.
the engineer will put right in here, you know, additional of 3 foot of leach field to be added to match detail. Additional single roll of 4-inch perforated pipe to be installed,
Okay.
so,
I don't think I have any more questions.
okay. I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the septic plan, increasing from a 3-bedroom to a 4-bedroom for 4 Lewis Drive, and install a nitrogen removal system.
All right. Motion, I accept, but you don't have.
If you can second it, you can
All right, I can
second.
second it.
Yep.
Okay. Roberta Johnson, I second that.
Okay, then we take a vote.
All in favor?
Aye,
All right.
passes.
Roberta
So
Johnson, aye.
you've been granted the variance for that.
Thank you.
Work with your engineer.
Okay.
It's Jay Du Bois, right? Is it?
Yeah, he originally designed, so I'd be turning to him.
Yep. Work with your engineer, and if you have any questions, you can call Amanda.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your
welcome.
time.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Are you guys holding on to the copy of my,
Yes,
okay,
yeah, it'll be with Amanda in the office.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Number 2. Oh,
Sorry, that's all that.
actually, do you want to do number 4 now?
So I asked Amanda to put Eagle Drive on because on one of the selectmen's meetings a couple weeks ago, there was a presentation done on some private wells on Eagle Drive. And I checked with Amanda to see if we had ever been officially notified regarding any of this, and we have not received official notification regarding, there are private wells on Eagle Drive that have high levels of PFAS that the town has been dealing with. And the town and Gentex, and I just happened to see a demonstration from Weston and Sampson. And one of the things that the selectmen in Weston and Sampson brought up was speaking with the Board of Health about PFAS levels and testing and things of that nature. So I asked her to bring it up because I wanted to just mention a few things. The state did send out a memo within the past year, a year ago, so, that they are beginning to investigate looking at private wells, but at this time, the state has not set any regulations for testing of PFAS in private wells at this time. The state has set for public water systems. Dudley's been dealing with that since 2020, so that's over 3 years now.
Yep.
But at this time, it's not, the state is not bringing it down onto local boards of health to enforce. There's a little bit, and this is, I'm just talking, in my opinion here, it's a little bit different for a private well and a public water system. Public water system is controlled by a town. They're taking care of a good majority of the town. A private well is servicing your own private well.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, our regulations don't require testing for PFAS. It's not to say that if you don't want to have, if you have a private well, you can have it tested for PFAS, but there are only certain places that are licensed or authorized by the state to test for PFAS, because it's such a difficult test to be done.
Okay.
The remediation for PFAS in a private well is a POET system, which is a point of entry filter system. And what it does is filter the water as it comes in to your house, and the filter catches all of the particles that PFAS is contained in. Once that filter is done, that filter then becomes hazardous material and has to be disposed of properly. It can't just be thrown in the trash. Just like the town has a granulated activated carbon vessel that filters the water, and when all that media has to be disposed of,
Yeah.
it's hazardous material and it has to be disposed of properly.
All right.
It can't just be thrown away. So I have concerns. Of course, you know how I feel. I have concerns about making regulations without the state having the regulation.
Mm-hmm.
I feel if the state wants us to handle it, then
Then we will.
we will. I haven't seen where other towns around us have started to do anything like this. I did check around a little bit. I haven't seen that. It's not to say that they might not, but I haven't seen anything in place yet. The cost for testing and everything is not cheap. Again, I guess what I would advise, and this is something that we can discuss and discuss further, I just was throwing it out there so we have it, is that if you're a private well owner, if you have a private well, or if you're building, and this is something you're concerned about, have the test done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Ask for it to be tested. Ask to be sure that it's done by a licensed and authorized. It is located on the Mass DEP. They do list locations that will
Okay.
do private well testing. I'm not ready to work on regulations for this, because Mass DEP made the regulations, made the level 20 parts per trillion. There is talk that it is going to be lowered even more. One, we don't have a health agent right now.
Mm-hmm.
That will guide us on something like this. Two, if they're gonna be lowering something, why? And if the state isn't doing it yet, what guidelines do we have and what do we have to fall back on?
Right.
If the state isn't doing it, then we're out here trying to make our own regulations.
It's kind of just like shooting in the dark.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a good idea, I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
We just don't have anything to follow at this time.
Right. And I would like more information on what's been going on for the past year and a half on Eagle Drive, I guess.
I agree.
So I'm gonna ask through you if Amanda can send an email finding out, because we are the keeper of private wells. we should have all these results of what their levels of PFAS are. We should, because when people come and ask again, they're gonna be asking, they're gonna come to the Board of Health saying, well, there was water testing done on these private wells. You're the keeper of the private wells. How come you don't have these results?
Just plain devil's advocate, they wouldn't have reached out to maybe Camille before she left and
Checked with Camille.
okay, just
She
making sure.
had no idea about
No.
it.
Okay. I mean, I think, Heather's not here tonight.
Right,
And this
that's-
sounds like it's something that we really need to talk a little bit
I
more
agree.
about together. So I think at this point, that's fine to send the letter, and
Yeah.
then I think the three of us, like, once we find out more info, we'll talk about it some more.
I agree. I just wanted to.
I would like to see that presentation.
It's on a selectmen's meeting from a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I would have liked to have been invited to the presentation.
Same, yeah, same,
It would have just nice to have been,
in the loop.
thank you. And that's why I brought it up, is I was listening to the selectmen's meeting at work one day, and was like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
How many houses are affected?
Did you say 20?
There's more than
Or
that.
did I hear you say, maybe I just,
I don't know
I
the
don't know.
exact number.
okay.
I know it's definitely more than that. And again, I don't know. I just know that it was handled by a different office, not through the Board of
Okay.
Health.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
that's why I brought that up, asked
Okay.
her to put it on.
So I'm sending an email to the other office, the other board,
And
asking them for more information.
Yes, and technically, we should have all the well results.
Okay.
Because we are the ones that legally are supposed to have well results. But, and I just want to put it out there, if anybody wants to test their well for PFAS, go to the Mass DEP website. They have wonderful information. If you're having trouble, I'm gonna throw Amanda right under the bus. Call Amanda and
Ha.
she'll get back to you within a couple days with
Okay.
information, because I have a lot of links through the public water supply, so.
Okay.
And nobody from Eagle Drive has reached out
No,
to the board?
No.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
no, and I know that the town had been delivering water to them.
True, I remember that.
Yeah, but never knew what. So that's why I brought it up
All right,
tonight.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
I learned 2 new things today.
See?
Thanks, Jen.
Try.
All right, so we'll go to number 2, which is the permit sign-offs. And I know that there's been, it's that time of year where permits need to be signed off, and I think, I'm not always available during the day, and I don't know if there's some that are time-sensitive that need to be signed, before the close of business day, so I don't know if that's something that you want to help me with. I'm totally fine with that, I don't want to speak for Heather, she's not here, but,
Yep.
I don't know how that works.
So you would have to have access to
To the online portal.
Thank you.
And you'd probably need some training on it.
Yes.
Which I am not, yeah, I don't have access to it.
Yep.
So I think it's just food permits went out recently.
Yeah.
Tobacco permits are gonna be going out in a couple weeks. So while we have no health agent, we need to know
Yeah,
who's gonna be signing off. Good with Jen signing off.
yeah, I'm fine with that, like, my only thing is I can do them, but not until after
Right.
my workday's over. So that's why I was concerned if they're time sensitive and they have to be by a certain time and you need me during the day, I'm not always readily available. I don't wanna put that on you, but I think, if there's something that has to be signed and you have access to do it, I'm okay with you doing it.
It's fine. I've been doing it.
I know you
So,
have.
It's fine.
Okay. Do we have to vote on that?
No,
All right.
it's fine.
Number 3, a new health agent. Well, we still do not have one. I know the ad was posted, so there's been some applications received, right? So we're
Correct.
just kind of,
We're waiting to, all 3 of us will be getting applications. And what I think would be best is if we went through and rated them, like number 1, number 2, number 3, who we thought was, and then send them all back to Amanda,
okay,
so that then she can, and send them, and I really think one of us needs to be involved on interviews. I think that's, at least one of us us needs to be involved.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
we
Agreed.
know what,
we're looking for.
correct, we
Mhm.
know what we need, because we've been doing this, and we've interviewed ones in the past, and hired ones in the past. So,
Agreed. Okay.
beautiful. So, as soon as we get them, try to work on them.
Okay.
We'll go from there.
All right, sounds good.
And hopefully, we'll have somebody.
I know. Number 5, public health nurse reports comments. The only thing that I want to bring to your attention is that I did order some COVID kits. I don't know, did they come in? They
Today.
did. I thought it said that they would send an email when they would arrive, and I hadn't received it yet, so we're able to get some more. So hopefully, we'll have some kits here if anyone wants COVID testing kits.
That's what Amanda she asked me, how do we want to put it out? Do we want to let people know? Do we want to put something out there that we have kits available?
Yeah, well, maybe we'll put it on our website. We'll have Debbie post something.
Yep. Perfect.
If anyone wants them.
Put it on the website and Facebook page,
Yeah.
and still just limit one.
There's 5 tests in one box.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not 2 per one little box?
5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like one
box
one
per.
box per
Well, per-
person.
yeah.
Just to start off.
Yeah,
'cause you
right.
don't wanna-
There was, I think it was like, it was under 1,000 that I could order, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I need that many. I'm glad I didn't with this 5 per box. That's a lot.
Yeah. So it was exciting.
Excellent.
Very nice. Thank you.
Welcome. That's really all I have. And I wanted to add the state stopped the reporting of the Triple E.
Okay.
They did all their testing. They're keeping an eye on things still, but they haven't, they said that they were stopping that at this time, and if there was anything else that popped up, that they would send more emails out.
Perfect.
Number 6, approval of the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from August 22nd, 2023.
I second that. That's it. Huh?
We have to take a vote.
Oh, sorry. What do I say? I'm sorry, I lost my.
I have a
my train-
motion and a
I have a
second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public. Do not have public. Any more comments for the board?
I just wanted to
Excuse
remind
me.
people that next Thursday, October 26th, from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Town Hall here, is our third annual Spooktacular.
3rd.
The parade will start at the library at 4 o'clock. They'll come up the road, up Brandon Road in the back way, and there'll be, as always, our little bag of hot dog, chips, and juice. There'll be s'mores. Hoping to have some games. We are in need of volunteers for games, so if you know anyone who would like to help out, if you have any students who need community service, we will gladly sign off for community service. It's 4 to 6. Just contact the selectman's office and let them know that you'd like to have your student or child or yourself, you'd like to help out. We would appreciate that, because we are in need of some help still. But I just wanted to, and there'll be the photo board, photo thing again, and you take pictures and come in costume. We love seeing it all. So,
I can reach out to Ms. A,
yes, if
see
you
if there's
could,
any boys.
that'd be great.
All right, thank you. That's gonna be fun. Hopefully the weather will hold up. So
Fingers
like it
crossed.
has every year, right?
Yes.
First year was really, really cold, I
It was
think,
very
right?
cold, but it's okay. We're gonna have a good time. It'll be lots of fun.
It will
Look
be.
forward to that.
All right,
And then one more thing.
yeah.
The next Board of Health meeting is scheduled for November 21st, which is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I would like to move it a week before
Okay.
to the 14th, if possible.
Let's see. Oh, what is this? I can do that.
Excellent.
And while we're at it, I know I will forget come November. Do we want to talk about December, or do you want to wait? Wait for Heather?
Yeah, I'm hoping that we could leave December open
I agree, but
and play it by ear as to if we need to have a meeting, have something quick and short. Does that sound good?
sounds great.
All right.
All right.
I
make a motion to adjourn?
A motion to second that. Meeting adjourned at 6 o'clock.